Hello everyone, this is Ashlesha Dixit, a member of COPS SDG. In the previous video, we already saw a function-based view, that is our index view. And in this video, we are going to learn about class-based views. So before jumping into the code, let us have a brief look over the differences between class-based and function-based views. So function-based views are basically Python functions, right? Similarly, class-based views are Python classes. Therefore, we can inherit them from another class. We already have some classes in Django that handle a lot of logic for us. So while making our own class-based views, we just inherit these classes. You can see class-based views follow the principle of dry, don't repeat yourself. These can significantly reduce the amount of view code needed, making them easier to write and maintain as compared to function-based views where we have to write most of the logic by ourselves. So for learning class-based views, we are going to create two pages. The first is book list page, which will show all the available books in the library, and the second is book detail page, which will display information about individual books. So let's first deal with book list page. For our book list page, we will create a class-based view called book list view, and for that view, we'll have to create a path in our urls.py. So we have already created a path for our index view, and we have just added an empty string. So we know that the actual URL will be catalog. Now here, let's now add a path for our book list view. As you can see here, I have written books slash. So now the complete URL will be catalogs slash books slash for our book list view. Also, you can see that here the format is different from the previous index view, as before we were dealing with a function-based view, and in this case we are dealing with a class-based view. I have given this path a name called books, and we are done adding a path for our book list view. So now let's create our actual view. In our views.py, let's write the logic for our book list view. So here I have defined a class-based view called book list view, and it is inheriting from generic.listView. I have specified our model as book. So generic.listView is a built-in Django class, and it handles most of the functionality for us. Since it is a list view, so it will display the list of all the instances of our model. In this case, it is books. What it does, it queries the database to get all the records of the specified model, and then it renders a template. We will be seeing it in a minute where it is located. And in this template, we can access the list of books with a template variable called book_list. It's generally the model name _list. So in this case, our model is book, so it will be book_list. Also, don't forget to import generic from django.views. Let's do that. And I think we are good to go now. Now it's time to create our templates. So our generic list view will look for a particular template, and it has to be located at a particular place. Our generic view will look for a template in templates folder /application name /the model name _list.html. In this case, our application name is catalog and our model name is book. So it will look for a template in templates /catalog /book _list.html. So in our templates folder, let's create another folder called catalog. And in this folder, let's create an HTML file called book_list.html. I have already written the code for our book list template. In this, I have extended the base template and then given it a heading called book list, and then run an if statement. So this is called a template tag, and in Django we can run if statement and for loops. We can also use else and elif, and then we have to end that if statement. And similarly for a for loop, we have to end it using the end for. Now, so let's understand what we have written here. We have written if book list. As discussed earlier, book list is actually a template variable name that is automatically given by our generic list view, and it is book underscore list. So it gives us the list of all the available books in the library. So if book list means that if there is at least one book in our book list, then we are running a for loop. So for each book in our book list, we are simply printing its book title and book author. You can see here that if we want to access the fields of a particular book, we can do it by using the dot notation. So book.title and book.author will give the book's title and author respectively. And then we have simply ended the for loop. In the else condition, we have written there are no books in the library and ended the if statement. And this is it. This is our book list template. So let's see what we have made till now. We have our home page and it's displaying the number of books, the copies and the copies available. I've already added this data set from the Django admin site. You can also do that. So we know that our book list template will be available through the path catalog/books. So let's see if it's working fine. And yes, we have the list of all the books available in the library. Since we have seen how to write a class-based view, let's see what our book list view would look like if it was a function-based view. Here you can see that I have defined a function called book list and then fetched all the objects of a model book, stored it in books, and then passed books as a context book underscore list, and then rendered a template in catalog/book underscore list.html. Don't forget to change our urls.py. As you can see here that we will have to write views.booklist since it's a function based view. Also, let's just see that our template is rendering fine. So yes, our function based view is working perfectly. So this is how you can write a function based view for our book list view. See the amount of code that we just reduced. In class based view, you just have to specify the model and then fetching the objects of a model, passing the context, rendering the template. It's automatically done by our class based view. Now what if we wanted to pass additional context variables in our template? Can we do that in a class based view? Yes, we can do that by overwriting a function called getContextData. Now here I have overridden a function called getContextData. So this function is responsible for passing the context to our template. Now here you can see that we have fetched the existing context from our superclass. And then we have added our new context information. I have added my name here and then I have returned the new updated context. So let's see if we can access our new context variable in our template. And don't forget to change our path. Let's see if it's working fine. So we have successfully passed an additional context variable in our class-based view. Just as a getContextData, we can also write other functions such as getTemplateNames to change the name of the template that we want to render. Another function could be getQuerySet. We can use it to change the list of records that we want to return. You can explore these functions if you want as per your need. Now let's deal with our book detail page. So right now we have 5 records in the library and you might think that we will be creating 5 different pages, 5 different URLs and views for each of our page. While this may seem feasible if there were only 5 books in the library, what if we had 100 records? For 100 records, you cannot think of writing 100 different views and URLs, right? So here we will be using a special URL pattern that uses a special syntax to capture the specific ID of the book that we want to see. Let's see what I mean by that. In our urls.py, let's write a path for our book detail view. Notice the format here, int::pk. So here pk captures the book ID. Pk means primary key. So if our URL is catalog/book/1, then our pk will be equal to 1, and our class-based view will display the information of book with pk ID equals to 1. If it was catalog/book/5, then we will be displaying the details of the book with ID equals to 5. Now we are done writing our path for our book detail view. Let's now write our detail view in views.py. Just as our book list view, here also we'll just have to specify our model equals to book, and we are good to go. Here too, our book detail view will look for a particular template in catalog/book_detail.html. So let's create that first. In our catalog folder, let's create an HTML page called detail.html, book_detail.html. I have already written the code for our book detail page. I have extended the base template and then written the heading as our book title, specified the book's author, genre, description, maximum retail price, and rating. Then I have printed the copies of this particular book. Here you can see I have written book.bookcopy_set.all. This is actually a function, and this is automatically constructed by Django in order to return the set of book copies records associated with this particular book. Then I have specified the copy's ID and run an if statement. If copy.status means if it is available, then I have written available. If not, I have written on loan and then ended the if statement. Here you can see a new template tag called empty. This means that if there are no available copies of the book, then we are just printing no copies available. Also, don't get confused by the classes that I've written here. These are bootstrap classes. So for example, empty5 specifies the margin top. Text success displays the text in green. Text danger displays the text in red. And text muted displays the text in gray. So now we are done writing our logic for our detail page. Let's see if it is working fine. In our URL, let's see if we can access the book with pk equals to 1. So it's working fine. And you can see that there are no available copies of this book. Let's see if we can access ID2. We can. The first copy is on loan and the second copy is available. Similarly, for 3, you can see that there are no copies available. For the 4th, there are no copies available. And for the 5th, there is a copy available. Now, what if I want to access a book that does not exist? Suppose with ID 8. It will give me an error as page not found. So we have successfully created our class-based detail view. Now let's see what if we wanted it to be a function-based view. If we wanted to write a function-based view for our book detail page, we would have to pass pk, which was captured in a URL, as an argument in this function. And then we would fetch the object of a model book with pk equals to this pk. We would store it in book, pass it as a context and render the template book_detail.html. Here, book object of 404 is a function that first tries to get the specific book record from the model, and if it fails to do this, it will raise an HTTP 404 exception to indicate that the book is not found. Now we are done creating our book detail page. The only thing remaining is linking our book list and book detail page from our home page. Go to our base generic HTML and let's link all books to our book list page. We will not be discussing about this all authors link. If you want, you can practice it by writing it yourself. So we have linked our book list page in our home page. Now in our book list page, we will be linking each book title with its corresponding book detail page. In our book list page, link each book title with book.getAbsolute URL. We haven't specified this function yet. We will be specifying it in our models.py. In our books model, define a function called getAbsoluteURL. This will return the URL to access a particular book instance. And this will be done with the help of self.id, that is, the particular book ID. Also, don't forget to import reverse from django.urls. So let's see if these links are working correctly. In our home page, click All Books and we can see the list of all books available in the library. Click the title of any book and you can see the detail page of that particular book. So we have successfully created our book list page and book detail page with the help of class-based views. Let's now quickly learn about pagination. So in our all books page, we have right now 5 instances of books. What if we have hundreds of records? Then the page will take too long to load, right? The solution to this problem is to add pagination. And this pagination can be added in our class-based list view. We will be reducing the number of items displayed on each page. Let's say only 3. Pagination in Django is very easy, especially when we are dealing with class-based list views. We don't have to do much as everything is inbuilt. In our book list view, add paginate by equals to 3. 3 specifies the number of books that will be displayed on each page. Now, in our booklist.html, we will be adding a new block for our pagination. If is paginated, if the page is supposed to be paginated, then we are displaying different page links. If this page has a previous page before it, then add the link to the previous page. If it has a page after it, then add the link to the next page. For the current page, display the page number and the total number of pages. If you now refresh our book list page, you can see that this is now paginated. It is displaying only 3 books per page. We have page 1 of 2, and if we click next, we can see the next page. If we click previous, we can see the previous page. And that's it for this video. I hope you found this video useful. Thank you.